Hello, everyone. Namaste. Dr. Noble, Dr. Turner, all the participants. It's very nice to meet with you uh, this morning here in New Jersey, and I know it's the afternoon. Wonderful.
Yes.
Sumango Devi, Dhanavad Pranam. So we are Dr. Hawaro. Nice to meet with you. Hello. We will be starting promptly here at 6:30 in New Jersey. And I just have a few words before we move on to our first speaker, Dr. Dennis Noble, which will begin in 15 minutes. So first, we just offer our love and respect to our gurus in the lineage of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, who under his affectionate guidance and instruction, this conference series has been going on since 2013. So we just offer a humble prayer, Om Gina Timirin Hasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshor and Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. This overarching conference series and this year's particular topic are completely inspired by the work of Dr. B. Madhava Puri, the serving director of the Bhaktivedanta Institute of Spiritual Culture and Science, Princeton, New Jersey, USA. We also acknowledge that today is the eve of the birth of the Bhaktivedanta Institute's founding director, Dr. Tharam Damodar Singh, also known as Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. So just a little background on the conference topic. In 1983, Barbara McClintock gave a Nobel lecture where she challenged 21st century science to, quote, determine the extent of knowledge the cell has of itself and how it utilizes this knowledge in a thoughtful manner when challenged, end quote. Since then, significant scientific progress has been made in recognizing that all cells are cognitive and that they exercise self, non-self discrimination in various ways. It has even inspired contemporary scientists like synthetic biologist Michael Levin to critically inquire about the self, as seen in his paper, The Computational Boundary of a Self, Developmental Bioelectricity Drives Multicellularity and Scale-Free Cognition, published in 2019 in Frontiers in Psychology. This development is quite revolutionary since historically Francis Bacon deterred future generations of scientists from inquiring about the self when he declared de nobis ipsis silimus, or of ourselves we say nothing. So we'd like to also attempt to clarify the distinction between cognition and consciousness so that this may assist in accurately determining the various behaviors of particular living entities. The word cognition comes from the Latin cognoscere, which includes the root know, indicating a general kind of knowing or knowledge as understood with the word gnostic, while the word consciousness stems from the Latin conscire, which includes cire, referring to a more expert kind of knowing as seen in the word science. So an etymological analysis suggests considering cognition as a less sophisticated faculty than consciousness. Cognition is an initial step of mediated thought where an object is reflected into the mind and a preliminary mental representation is formed, which is enough to navigate the relatively simplistic experience of cellular life and other lower life forms such as insects and plants. The phrase lower life forms is not being used in a derogatory sense, but to denote living entities whose activities seem mainly absorbed in exercising volition and cognition while responding to immediate environmental circumstances without exhibiting symptoms of a sophisticated internal emotional experience. Consciousness, on the other hand, denotes an identity and difference between subject and object that requires a dialectic approach to comprehend. This is a further development of thought where the conscious agent knows apparently external objects as identical to itself, as well as recognizing the difference from objects. In addition to exercising volition and cognition, conscious entities like elephants, cows, and humans have a more mediated relationship with their environment, allowing them to form emotional attachments to things other than themselves, Scientists like biologist Mark Bekoff recognize that, quote, there is a continuity between humans and other animals in their emotional and cognitive lives, that there are transitional stages among species, not large gaps, and that the differences among many animals are differences in degree rather than in kind, end quote. When one experiences differences among many, when one experiences an identity with something other than oneself, a feeling of interconnection is established. So, living cells may be volitional and cognitive, but not emotional. This indicates an evolution of consciousness throughout life forms where different stages of development are distinguished by the degree to which and particular manner in which a living entity expresses volitional, cognitive, and emotional activity. So in conclusion, we sincerely thank all of today's speakers for taking their valuable time to join our program, and are also grateful to all the conference attendees for recognizing the value of today's event and for taking the time to come, listen, and engage in a thoughtful exchange of ideas and perspectives. So now it's a little early, but perhaps Dr. Sumangala from the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute, she is our Masters of Ceremony today. And perhaps you'd like to introduce Dr. Nobel. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna Keshav Prabhu, for a profound, very profound introduction of the Science and Scientist Conference series.